What's up, everybody? Rhapsodist Beats here. I'm doing a really quick review, impressions video, whatever you want to call it, of this Alesis VI61 keyboard. So don't mind the poor production quality. I just decided to whip out my camera and quickly record my thoughts on this keyboard and share it with you guys. So I just recently sold my MPD 32. It was taking up too much desk space. I like to have my setup kind of, set up in a way where I don't have to move my gear around and stuff. So the MPD had to go, or I had to get a dedicated desk. I decided to sell it. The pads were too stiff anyway for me, so I wanted to upgrade that with something with a little more sensitive pads. On top of that, I needed a new keyboard. I have a low end, like M Audio Key Studio, so I decided to upgrade, and I was initially looking at the Akai MPK 261. In my opinion, it's the perfect keyboard for me, but it's $500. Pretty pricey. It's a pretty big investment. So I wanted something cheaper. So I came across this, and I was pretty impressed at how cheap this guy is. It's $279 new, at least at the time that I got it. Had all the features that I need. 61 keys, semi-weighted aftertouch. You got the 16 keys, the 16 pads over there. MIDI, what do you call that? The pitch and model wheel. And knobs and buttons for days. Everything I need, nothing more, nothing less. The MPK does have more stuff on it, but I don't need all of it. So, this looked like a winner, but there was no reviews. Do a quick YouTube search for yourself. There is hardly anything but promotional videos with a marketer just trying to sell this thing to you. You know what I mean? I don't want to hear that. I want to hear an honest review. Same thing with written reviews. There might be like one or two out there, but not enough for me to make a decision. But I decided to pull the trigger, and here it is. And I'm really happy that I bought it. I want to say that. Okay. One of the bad things I heard about this in those very few reviews that I found is that it takes a little effort to set this up, right? There's some software that Alesis gives you that allows you to remap things, adjust the velocity curve, that kind of thing. And I've heard complaints on some forum posts. Like, I really did my research when I was trying to get this thing. There just wasn't enough information, but those were like one of the big complaints I heard about this thing. But I had no issues with that. Let's look back here real quick before I talk about plug and play, which I really don't have much to say about. But you got all your standard ports here: sustain, MIDI, that can focus. There's the MIDI out. You have a power plug, so you can run this independently if you want. There is no speakers on this, by the way. This is not really an independent keyboard. This is a controller. I just want to state that. And there's an on and off switch there. I literally whipped out this USB cable, plugged it into my laptop. I heard the little sound when you have a new device on your computer. It loaded up. You can see I have the FL Studio here. And it immediately recognized it. And all I did was click enable in my MIDI settings. And boom. That's it. As you can see, it's playing. So I had a real true plug and play experience here. So the initial setup is nothing serious. I think the setup issue is when you need to make changes to the defaults. So speaking of defaults, I think the velocity curve on this keyboard is a little off, just very slight, but it's nothing that my dog can't fix. I can just go and adjust my velocity curve in FL Studio, so it's not a big issue. But maybe you don't have a DAW that has that feature, so you'll have to use Alesis software. And honestly, I haven't used it yet, so I can't speak on it. But keep that in mind. But it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Most people, I don't think you'll really tell the difference unless you're an experienced player, which I'm not, by the way. So these keys are very nice, by the way. Very nice. They feel real good to play on. I don't know if I already mentioned this, but semi-weighted aftertouch keys, waterfall style, full size, and it feels really good. I'm gonna pull up my M Audio Key Studio here, right there. All right, in comparison, this thing is a piece of shit, dog. Like, I don't know if you can hear that, but it rattles. There's no weight to it. It just doesn't feel good, doesn't feel natural. And turn this way. If you look that way, look at all that dust that's piling up. Just empty space. These keys are really just a small slab of plastic. So, doesn't feel good at all. Especially after touching this. This feels like a complete piece of crap. So these keys are real nice. You guys will definitely enjoy those. All right. Let's go over here to these pads. Now this was a big deal for me because I just sold my MPD and I use pads a lot for samples, drums, anything really. These pads are freaking amazing, yo. All right, so probably the first thing you'll notice is the backlit LEDs that change color. So they actually change color depending on how hard you hit. It looks really cool in person too. And what's really nice about the LED, it's not just a cool feature, it's feedback. You know what I mean? On my MPD 32, there's no backlight. It's just a pad, and you're just hitting it, and you can't tell when it really registers a hit. But this thing is giving you feedback instantly, which is, a visual feedback, which is really nice. Feels good, feels natural. Sensitivity. This thing is really sensitive in a good way. Look how soft I'm touching that. And I don't know if you can hear it on my computer, but it's really picking up those really light touches. That's freaking amazing. So this is a really nice pad set. And I wasn't expecting to say that. I wasn't expecting for $279 to get a nice keyboard and some nice pads, but I guess it happened. I got both, which is nice. So I think you guys will have a good experience with the pads as well as the keys. Really nice, good price point. I mean, that's all I need to know right there. Good keys, good pads for $279. I don't even care about the rest of the features. But let's talk about this real quick. Not much to say. These are mapped perfectly. I'll try to demo this to you. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's bending my piano sound. And I didn't have to remap that. The VST I have opened right now doesn't have anything mapped to the mod wheel, so I can't really comment on that, but FL Studio is recognizing this, so I'll assume that it's working. You got plenty of knobs here, easily assignable, and FL Studio just takes me a couple clicks to map them. Same with these buttons. I should mention that everything is backlit except the actual keyboard. Even these mod wheels here, if it'll focus. All these buttons, just everything, you know what I mean? Ooh. Yeah, so this is a really nice keyboard set. So in summary, I have the Alesis VI61 Midi Keyboard that I got for $279 new. Really cheap price. It's a little over half the price of what I would consider my ideal keyboard, which is the Akai MPK 261. But for that price, you're getting most of the features that you need anyway. A really nice keyboard, semi-weighted aftertouch, waterfall style, really well built, feels great. Same with the pads. These pads are pretty. They light up, pressure sensitive, and they're very sensitive. I think that's the most exciting part about those pads over there. And you get all your standard knobs, buttons, pitch wheel, mod wheel, and true plug and play, in my opinion. You'll need to do a little extra work for more tweaking, but it's enough to get going. So I would highly, highly recommend this keyboard. I don't see any problems with it. I'm just really happy I got this. So if you're thinking about picking this up, especially because of the price point, don't be scared. It's not a cheap piece of crap. It's actually amazing. I don't know how they priced it this low. So if this looks good to you, don't be afraid. Buy it. You'll be happy with it. All right. So I hope that helps you guys out with a decision. So yeah, Rhapsodist Beats again. I'm signing out. Peace.